the books at one time a number of years back, the Twin Lakes development, and we know that she will indeed listen to the citizens, and she's there for the citizens. Now, I understand that we do have a caller on the line. Caller, thanks for your questions or comments. And let's get the sound out here so we can hear you. Yeah, okay, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi, Diana.
Hey, thanks for calling in and saving me from my technology failures.
Well, I hope what I have is interesting.
Oh, you will.
But anyway, what I want to talk about is the people that are involved in this, they ought to do their research on the health effects that this could cause on their health and in their communities. Because the experience I had with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency have not been good. Mm-hmm. And they will not in any way help people from the state of Minnesota when it comes to big business. Big business wins all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's from experience across the state of Minnesota, from people calling me for the different things that they've been involved in, and that the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency never did a thing to help them either. Mm-hmm. So I recommend that they do their research and go from there. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And I think that it's very important, certainly at the local level, when you've got projects that could have an impact on people's health and on the quality of life, that you have people on the council who are willing to stand up and stand up for the citizens. And one thing is that I know that a number, quite a number of citizens in Roseville are sad to see that council member Amy Island is not running again for re-election. But she's been on the council, I believe, for 8 years or so. And, she has always been a voice there for the citizens. And many of the folks that I've talked to in Roseville are looking to have Tam McGehee be that voice for the citizens on the council. And that they're hoping that Tam gets elected there, so that way there'll at least be somebody who will be advocating for the citizens, who will be advocating for the environment, for certainly the quality of life, and for people's health. And I think that Tam certainly does have a record that she can point to as a citizen advocate and an activist in the community. One of the things that I found very interesting, because I also watched some of the Roseville City Council meeting that was just held on October 25th. So that was just a couple days ago. And again, I encourage folks, go to the Roseville website there, because then that way you can look at the streaming video yourself. And I apologize again that we're not able to show that for you this evening. But at that meeting, they talked about on item 13B on the agenda, they talked some more about this particular issue about the CUP for the asphalt plant's outside storage request. And of course, some of the issues that again came up as to what can the council approve or what can they deny, and exactly what kind of posture do they need to have with regard to their actions. Because of course the city council does have to always be concerned about making sure that they do either their approvals or their denials in the proper format and in the proper way and in the proper timing. Otherwise, they could open themselves up to litigation. And I think certainly that, Tam McGehee, because even though she's never been on the city council, in the past, she has been very engaged in what's going on in Roseville, has attended many meetings, has been engaged in many different activities, engaged with looking at different developments in the city, that she understands what that process is. And actually at the meeting of October 25th was actually helping the council to solidify really how they best could handle this. Of course, she was promoting the idea that the CUP should be denied. And Council Member Amy Island did indeed get a motion out there to have the council at least consider taking a look at some of these other issues with relation to waiting for some other reports. And it was very interesting, though, to hear some of the various council discussion with regard to the pros and cons of whether or not this project should go forward. Now, one of the things that I think, too, that you'll find if you look at the packet of the Roseville City Council meeting is that there is also a memorandum that was put together by the city staff there. So for those of you in the Roseville area that are very that are very interested in this issue, that you will want to go to that website and download this information that the staff has. And this is, of course, information by and from the city attorney. And again, they're very, very informative. So keep in mind, November 2nd is election time. And for those of you in the Roseville area, don't forget to vote. You've got some city council seats that you need to fill. And if you're looking for somebody who will be your voice and not the voice of special interests, certainly go out there and vote for Tam McGehee. Now, on a different topic, we, of course, have a couple of other items that we want to cover on tonight's program. Now, one of the things that in the community that I'm involved with, I'm not a real deep involvement, but certainly on a peripheral involvement, is indeed the Boy Scouts. And of course, many of you know that I have 2 boys. Now, my oldest son, Benjamin, who is, of course, long graduated from high school and college and got a job of his own and everything, well, you know what? He was an Eagle Scout. But my younger son, Alex, he's 7 years younger than Benjamin. And he's been in Scouts all his life. And on Sunday, we had a very happy event where he was awarded his Eagle Scout honors, and we had the Eagle Scout Court of Honor. And so we have some film footage that we've posted on YouTube that I'd like to share with you, because maybe for some of you, you may not have had the opportunity of being able to go or to witness an Eagle Scout Court of Honor. And so we have some clips, but before we go to that, we do have a caller on the line. So let's take our caller first, and then by that time I'll get to the YouTube clips so we could take a look at what's going on. Caller, thank you for calling in. Questions or comments tonight?
Thanks, Mayor Longery. And I found this Roseville, in the city of Roseville, this issue of the asphalt plant very fascinating. And one of the troubling things, of course, is I would have loved to have seen the video, because then I would have been able to understand this issue more completely and better. And that's one of the struggles, I think. And I've tried to look at both the Maplewood and the Roseville sites before. And because they use, I think, this Apple technology, Apple seems to be more clumsy and not... And I've often had trouble making these videos run. So I really feel like I've been harmed because I'm not able to see what you're pointing to, because this is troubling if they're moving asphalt plants right across residential homes and they didn't prepare for that in the comprehensive plans and allowed them to move them a big, smelly, stinky, polluting asphalt plant right across from homes and where they were making potato chips.
Right. Well, exactly. And that was really part of, I really wanted to show the fellow from the Old Dutch potato chip factory getting up to speak, because, he's talking about, jobs and about the impact on a product that is produced in Roseville that, people, once you've got a bad potato chip, I mean, you're going to think, as a consumer, a second time if you want to buy that brand again, because you might think to yourself, well, I don't know, I had a bad taste that time. I don't think I want to go back to it. You know, it has to do with their brand name, their good reputation, everything about it. And I just think it's too risky to say, you know what, let's combine these kind of incompatible uses.
And I'm not sure if I even want to eat any potato chips anymore if I don't know where they're being processed. If this is going on throughout this country where there's not regulations where they can be making food products right across from hydrocarbon chemical asphalt plants, that's a real danger. I would have thought there would have been federal regulations in play at the very least that would not allow them. And at the very, to be sure, you would have thought there would have been common sense, basically at the local level, that people would have been outraged to see something of that occur. And wow, and I'm, you know, this seems so unbelievable. I would have loved to see the video. And getting back to that video issue, I know that all kinds of people post for free information up on YouTube, and with no trouble. Why is it that the governments, these local governments especially, which have all this money paid top dollar to put up information, their council meetings, so they can be more transparent on this Apple technology that doesn't work and you can hardly see because the screen's so small? And in fact, in the city of Maplewood, I go to their websites, and a lot of their videos aren't up until a month later, if they even get them up then. And I'm wondering, is it even relevant then? What are they spending money to put stuff up so much later for?
Right. Well, you know, two things that your comments bring to mind. One is this, is that, you know, if we're talking about an asphalt plant in Roseville, perhaps we need to look back a few years ago to New Brighton. Now, of course, we've had guests on this program from New Brighton who have talked about the impact in their I believe it was the northeast quadrant or northwest quadrant. I forget which one it is, and I apologize to the viewers out there from New Brighton. But of course, they've got a quadrant which is where they had this extensive cleanup there in New Brighton that they really had to engage in. And you know, I believe that part of that was because they had an asphalt plant there at one time, and of course then they had to work on trying to figure out how to do restoration of that land and that property to be able to reclaim it for some other good use. And I believe that they had to have tax increment financing and all kinds of things that really really caused other issues after the asphalt plant was long gone. And so, you know, so again, it's obviously we need to have asphalt, and we need to have asphalt plants somewhere. But the issue is that how best can you locate them in areas that will have the least amount of impact, either on humans or on our food production, or you know, on our health. Now, the other question that you brought up that I was thinking about when you were talking about the time lag, for instance, in Maplewood on their website for their streaming of their archived city council meetings, is that I had a citizen come into my office the other day where they were trying to remember what one of the council members, I think it was what the mayor said at the council meeting that was 2 weeks ago, and they were trying to remember what he said about an issue. And I said, well, hey, and this person didn't have the internet. So I said, well, hey, I've got the internet here at my office. Let's go to the website. Let's go take a look and see what he said. We can just rerun it and listen to it. Well, you know what? It wasn't even up yet. It was 2 weeks, and the meeting wasn't even posted yet. So I called up City Hall, and Michael Folds, the IT director, he was kind enough to tell me that actually, after hearing my message earlier in the day about this, that he went and he got it on the website. So he got it up there right away then after somebody brought it to his attention. But he had mentioned that while they're busy trying to get the guy who does the filming trained in on how to upload it, you know, so that you can watch it on the internet. And I thought, you know, it shouldn't take that much time, because I think it's the same guy who's been running the camera for the last year now. So, you know, how much time does it take? But what do I know? I'm just a lawyer. I'm not a techno weenie. So anyway,
And Mayor Longley,
yes,
the thing
go
that's
ahead.
most disturbing about this issue in particular, it's on two big issues. It's this issue of environmentalism, which everyone who runs for the